Stop.
No, hold on a second. This is
you
because you just
interrupt
run-
way too much.
No,
you need to stop.
You talk
Hold
in
on
paragraphs.
a second. No. I don't talk in paragraphs.
And I was in bed for a week. That was 30 seconds and I was in bed for a week. And it's not funny.
We're booked up months and months in advance.
You were so confident until just now. We
No,
could
no,
pick a
no.
month,
That's
few
just,
months
that's,
off.
that's ridiculous. If you say that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child hormones. Mm-hmm. If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl.
2 or 3 days after that,
Why does that look so shitty, Jamie?
my cousin passed away. So it was
Boom!
Joe Rogan's podcast is never short of surprises. From fiery debates to laugh-out-loud moments, his interviews often spiral into chaos, brilliance, or a thrilling blend of both. Each episode is a ride packed with intensity, humor, and moments that leave fans debating long after the mics are turned off. Let's revisit some unforgettable episodes that showcase the full spectrum of Rogan's trademark conversational style. Candace Owens' episode of the Joe Rogan Experience exploded into controversy right from the start. Owens, known for her confident takes, boldly dismissed climate change as a real concern. But Rogan, ever the skeptic, wasn't having it. "What's your basis for that?" he asked pointedly, refusing to let her off the hook. Meanwhile, Jamie Vernon, the ever-reliable producer and fact-checker, was busy pulling up scientific studies to challenge her assertions. The pressure mounted as Owens' initial confidence began to waver, and in a moment of candor, she admitted that her grasp of the issue wasn't as firm as she'd let on. The exchange was a compelling mix of intensity and discomfort, serving as a live demonstration of how vital preparation is, especially when stepping into Rogan's intellectual arena. It was a segment that highlighted the unpredictable nature of the show, where even the most self-assured guests can find themselves on shaky ground.
And
You
I
don't
thought,
think we have to care about the environment? Like, what do you,
no, not even a little bit. Like,
not even a little bit?
an issue that is being that is global warming, which they've changed conveniently. They got rid of the word once scientists started disproving.
Incredibly complicated subject.
Right.
And if you would have to talk to a bunch of different scientists.
Right. But it's not about the part. I just genuinely, I've read a ton about it, but
What
I
have
would
you
not
read?
be able to. I would not be able to come to you and say like, this is my strong opinion.
The drama didn't stop there. Enter Dave Portnoy, bringing his characteristic bravado to a fiery debate about Tommy Fury's boxing skills. Portnoy dismissed Fury as overrated, a sentiment that instantly sparked Rogan's fervent defense. What began as a casual critique turned into an impassioned standoff. Rogan and Portnoy dissected Fury's matches in real time, analyzing clips and stats with the intensity of seasoned commentators. The studio was electric with tension as each dug in their heels, unwilling to concede. What unfolded wasn't just a debate about boxing. It was a battle of egos, where neither was ready to admit defeat. Listeners were left enthralled, caught between laughter, admiration, and disbelief at the verbal sparring that played out like a heavyweight fight.
Fury box. He is not a boxer.
Well, he's definitely a boxer.
Well, he puts on gloves.
He's definitely a boxer. Probably we wouldn't know as much about him.
I don't.
But he's still a good-looking guy. He's built great.
Steven Crowder's episode took the chaos up another notch. The topic? Marijuana legalization, a subject bound to ignite passionate arguments. Crowder kicked things off by claiming that legalization had directly caused an uptick in traffic fatalities. Rogan, clearly unimpressed, demanded hard evidence, sparking a heated back and forth. Jamie once again dived into the data, fact-checking claims in real time, but the debate spiraled into chaos. Crowder leaned on anecdotal evidence, Rogan countered with studies, and before long, the conversation had devolved into snarky exchanges and thinly veiled insults. It was messy, loud, and utterly captivating. The episode became a showcase of unfiltered opinions and clashing personalities, leaving listeners to sort through the noise for their own takeaways. Whether you were laughing, shaking your head, or furiously Googling statistics, one thing was certain: Rogan's show is anything but predictable.
Stop.
No, hold on a second. This is
you
because you just
interrupt
run-
way too much.
No,
You need to stop.
You talk
Hold
in
on
paragraphs.
a second. No. I don't talk in
Go ahead.
paragraphs. Not necessarily mean that marijuana caused those fatalities. It could be that you have an increased incidence of people doing marijuana.
I don't buy that smoking marijuana would be as beneficial as a reduced sugar diet. And my point is that people
You
get
might
so
be-
offended
You
by me
might be
saying
correct.
that.
Free
Yes,
market guy,
that's
right?
what I just said.
So if you're a free
Smoke
market
pot.
guy, why wouldn't you be in support of something?
Then there was the infamous rock, paper, scissors incident, a moment that etched itself into the show's lore for all the wrong reasons. What began as a lighthearted suggestion to settle a debate spiraled into a bizarre standoff. Rogan, visibly amused but firm, refused to place a high-stakes bet on what he called a game of chance. The guest, taking it far more seriously than expected, accused him of being scared to lose. The exchange grew awkward, with Rogan's laughter met by the guest's escalating frustration. The tension was palpable, teetering between absurd comedy and genuine discomfort. Somehow, though, the oddity of the moment captivated listeners who couldn't help but chuckle at the sheer ridiculousness of an argument over rock, paper, scissors on one of the most popular podcasts in the world.
If I win, I do the programming on your show for a week.
No. We're booked up months and months in advance.
You were so confident until just now. We could pick a month, few months off.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
the only
you gotta
way
risk something to play this game.
That's not a risk.
It's just 1 week of your life,
that's abandoning the show.
That's 1 week.
Awkwardness reached an even higher peak during Joe Schilling's emotionally charged appearance. Schilling opened up about the profound pain of coping with personal loss while preparing for a fight, a raw and vulnerable moment that had the potential to resonate deeply. Rogan, however, appeared to fumble, offering comments that seemed to downplay the gravity of Schilling's experience. Whether intentional or not, his response created an air of discomfort that lingered throughout the episode.
It was a really tough fight for me too. It was a really bad camp. It was probably the worst camp of my career.
It was a rare misstep in an environment typically lauded for its empathy and insight. Yet the candidness of the moment also added a layer of unpredictability, reminding fans that even seasoned hosts can stumble when navigating delicate subjects.
2 or 3 days after that,
Why does that look so shitty, Jamie?
my cousin passed away. So it was
Boom!
And who could forget the Flat Earth debate with Eddie Bravo? It was peak Rogan chaos, the kind of episode that makes longtime fans smile and newcomers raise their eyebrows in disbelief. Bravo, with his characteristic passion, insisted that NASA's images were fabricated and that the Earth was flat. Rogan, visibly exasperated but engaged, demanded proof, countering Bravo's claims with logic, science, and no small amount of frustration. Yet, despite Rogan's reasoned arguments, Bravo's unrelenting conviction turned the debate into a spectacle. Their fiery exchanges, peppered with incredulity and occasional laughter, made for a thoroughly entertaining listen. The absurdity of the topic and Bravo's unyielding stance ensured the episode's place as a cult classic, celebrated for showcasing the more eccentric, offbeat side of Rogan's podcast. Political talk didn't fare much better and quickly proved why it remains one of the most divisive topics on Rogan's podcast. What started as an offhand comment about a political candidate escalated into a fiery exchange that no one saw coming. The guest, armed with strong opinions, clashed with Rogan, who wasn't shy about voicing his disagreements. The argument spiraled, becoming a masterclass in how quickly a conversation can derail when politics enters the fray. Rogan's visible frustration, paired with the guest's unwavering stance, created an atmosphere thick with tension. Listeners were left on edge, some cringing at the awkwardness, others reveling in the drama.
When
you look into the timeline, it wasn't just like, oh, all dinosaurs were discovered. That was a timeline.
What about like the way the Earth is, like the layers, and you can tell certain time periods from the layers of Earth?
It was a reminder of why certain topics demand not just nuance, but also an extra dose of patience. Qualities that even Rogan, a seasoned conversationalist, seemed to struggle with in the heat of the moment.
I like that. I love that.
I like that Eddie's like
I don't
this.
like
I
just
think
wanna...
you need people like this. Like
yes.
he loves it. Like he loves it.
I think conspiracy theorists, most conspiracy theorists do not, they think flat Earth is the most retarded thing ever.
Matt Walsh's appearance, however, brought controversy of a different kind. The discussion centered around marriage, traditional and otherwise, and quickly became a battleground for contrasting ideologies. Walsh, known for his conservative views, staunchly defended traditional marriage, including his opposition to gay marriage. Rogan, ever the libertarian, pushed back, questioning Walsh's arguments with pointed counterpoints that made for an intense and thought-provoking debate. The conversation delved deep into societal norms, individual rights, and the evolving definition of marriage, sparking both moments of insight and undeniable tension. For listeners, it was a roller coaster of emotions, equal parts frustrating and enlightening. While the episode didn't change any minds overnight, it undoubtedly left everyone with questions about where they stood on some of society's most deeply entrenched beliefs. It was classic Rogan. Provocative, polarizing, and impossible to ignore.
Your sensibilities and what you think is important in life to other people. But everybody has a different idea. Right, but nor are gay people doing that to you.
I think the harm comes from, on a societal level, fewer kids are being born. Also, more kids are being born in a context where they don't have that stable family structure. So the harm definitely comes.
Milo Yiannopoulos' episode brought a mix of flamboyance and fervor as he defended Christianity, while Rogan challenged its doctrines. Their opposing views clashed, but the conversation was laced with enough humor to keep things engaging. It was a reminder that even polarizing figures can find a rhythm that entertains. Adam Conover's take on transgender athletes tackled a topic rich in nuance. Conover advocated for inclusivity, while Rogan raised concerns about fairness. The discussion was passionate, highlighting the complexity of the issue and leaving listeners grappling with more questions than answers.
To add hormones to a child's body, that's a choice.
It's a choice on the part of the parent.
If you say that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child hormones. If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl.
For a lighter touch, Mike Tyson's episode delivered hilarity and wisdom in equal measure. Tyson's wild stories had Rogan in stitches, yet beneath the laughter lay moments of vulnerability that revealed a softer side of the boxing legend. It was a perfect blend of comedy and depth, showing why Tyson remains a fan favorite.
And I was in bed for a week. That was 30 seconds and I was in bed for a week. And it's not funny, but I wanted to find out because you're really bright. And I thought you would figure it. No, I'm being very serious.
No, I know.
Jordan Peterson's episode shifted gears, diving into masculinity and societal expectations. Peterson's reflections resonated deeply, as Rogan shared anecdotes that made the dialogue feel relatable and heartfelt. It was a rare moment of introspection that stood out amidst the chaos of other episodes.
It was typical for girls to undergo a fair bit of confusion when they hit puberty. I think what you're doing is sacrificing your child to the parading of your moral virtue. Oh, my son, he's so confused.
Joe Rogan's podcast remains a roller coaster of emotions, ideas, and personalities. From fiery debates and awkward standoffs to laugh-out-loud stories and reflective discussions, the show's unpredictability is its charm. Fans keep tuning in, ready for the next clash, laugh, or jaw-dropping moment that Rogan's hot seat inevitably delivers. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.